guys know, I got a lot of books for Christmas as well as a few gift cards. So here, coming up, we are going to have a haul. But before we do that, we need to unhaul some books. So before we get started with the books, I just want to let you all know I am unhauling these books because either I have read them and I probably won't reread them, or I have been to my local library enough times to know what kind of books the library has, and if the library has them and they're not on my like highest TBR, priority TBR, then we're just going to get rid of them and borrow them from the library so that we have more rooms for books that we enjoy on our bookshelves. All of these books are either going to be given away to my friends. The books that my friends don't want are going to go to half price books. And you know, the logic behind that, the girl math behind that is we donate, or we give the book, we sell back the books, we get money from half price books to buy more books. Logic. So let's get started with the books. First we have The Decent Proposal. This is a book that I got for like $1 on a book sale, and it's been on my shelf for like a year. I haven't really had the urge to pick it up, so it's going away. The next book is also one that I picked up for really cheap. It's The Rehearsals. Sounds like a good premise, but it has that Groundhog Day trope, and I'm not really the biggest fan of that, so it's probably not one that I'll read super soon, so it's gonna go away too. We have First Comes Love. And this, again, is another book I picked up for really cheap. It hasn't really been on my radar to read, and I know my library has this, so if I ever have the urge to pick it up, I'll just borrow it from them. Then another one, How to Find Love in a Bookshop. I actually started this one, and it wasn't really interesting me, so it's gonna go away. All right, the next books are Christmas books that I've read and probably won't reread, so we'll go through these. These are The Holiday Trap, Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, A White Christmas Wedding, and A Wedding in December. Again, I've read most of these, and they were good, but they're just, there's so many other Christmas romances out there that I probably won't reread these, and so they're going to go kaput. This book, this is the only one I haven't read, and it's because Isaac started it, and he said it was like very juvenile, very written for, you know, 12, 13, 14-year-olds, and that's just, I'm not there in my life anymore. But the other ones were good. The next 5 books are books by an author, Abby Waxman. I've read all 5 of these books before, but I probably won't reread them again. We have Adult Assembly Required, I Was Told It Would Get Easier, Other People's Houses, The Bookish Life of Nina Hill, and The Garden of Small Beginnings. And again, all of these books I read, and they were all really cute, really good, really light, fluffy, easy to read romances, but I won't reread them. Next we have Meet Cute, and this is a book of little short stories by all of these different authors down here. I did read this one. It was cute, it was fun, it was, you know, short, sweet, good palate cleansers in between more intense novels. Probably won't reread it, so it's gonna go away. And then I have a book that Isaac got me that I already had. So since I've already have it, I'm gonna keep one copy and then get rid of the other copy. This is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. Then we have some of Isaac's nonfiction boring books that no, they're not boring. They're just more his forte and not my forte. But we have The Producer. It doesn't have its dust jacket. We have the Neil Patrick Harris autobiography. I picked this up and I started it and then I never finished it. Then we have Dear Evan Hansen and Take the Risk. Again, those are Isaac's books, not my books. Now we have 2 books by Mary Kate Andrews, and I know I can get these at the library, and these are both books that I got at Goodwill, I think, for like $1, but they haven't really been on my TBR like I did there. I look at them, I'm like, oh, I'll read those eventually. So when I'm in the right mood, I'll pick them up from the library. We have The Newcomer and The Homewreckers, both by Mary Kate Andrews. Then I have 2 books by Elena Armas. We have The Spanish Love Deception, which I started, as you can see, and I got a good chunk through. But I DNF'd this book because I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't enjoying my reading experience whilst reading this book. So I put it down and I haven't had the urge to pick it back up. I also have The American Roommate Experiment. There's a little sticker on that one. But also by this author, they're interconnected standalones, and since I didn't finish this one, I probably won't pick this one up. And I believe both of these are at my library too if I ever have the urge to read them. So, which I won't. So these are gonna go away because they make me angry. We have Adequate Yearly Progress. And I read this one a while ago. I think I read this during COVID, but it's about like teachers in a school setting, and it was very interesting, but I haven't wanted to reread it. Then we have The Nest. And I read this one a while ago too, like way back a few years ago. This one is more like literary fiction. I feel like it's about like a family and they're all interconnected. Like a modern family thing, you know, where we have our separate families, but then they're all together. That probably didn't make sense, but it's fine. This one was good, but I'm not gonna reread it. Then we have This Summer Everything Changed, and I actually started this one this year. I read a few chapters and it wasn't interesting me. And we have The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend. This is another one where it's been on my shelf for years. I haven't picked it up. I know my library has it, so if I ever have the urge, we'll get it from the library. All right, now we have some more. We have 2 books by Beth Harbison. We have Always Something to Remind Me and The Cookbook Club, and I did read both of these. Both literary fiction with like a touch of romance in them, but again, won't reread these, so hopefully someone else can enjoy them. Then we have The Good Luck Charm by Helena Hunting, and again, this is one that's been on my shelf for years. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble a long time ago. Haven't had the urge to read it, so I feel like I probably won't anytime soon. Then we have another 2 more books I have read. We have The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon, and I read this one back in college, I think. It was good. It was interesting. It was, you know, a nice, short, quick, easy read. And we have Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert, another one I read back in college, I think. All right, now we have 3 books by an author by Wendy Wax. We have Best Beach Ever. We have My Ex-Best Friend's Wedding and The Breakup Book Club. And again, I've read all 3 of these books. I did enjoy all of these. These are, again, literary fiction with a touch of romance in them, but they were all really good. I enjoyed them. Then we have Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I read this one back in COVID again. It's about a family, it's like from the point of view of the little girl. So that was interesting to read about, but again, probably won't reread it. Some books I have not read that have been sitting there on my shelf for a while, and I know my library has them. So if I ever have the urge, I'll pick them up there. We have By the Book by Julia Sonnenborn, and we have Wedding Night by Sophie Kinsella. I have read a couple of her books before and I enjoyed them, but I just haven't picked this one up. Then I have 3 books again that I have read. We have The Wedding Crashers by Mia Sosa. This one is part of an interconnected standalone series 2. The first one is The Worst Best Man by her. We have Last Chance Library, which I read last year. This one is another literary fiction with a hint of romance in it. It's about a woman who's trying to save her local library. And we have The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. I read this one too a couple years ago. It was good. It's about a friend group who's going on a road trip and they have come across all these little mishaps. These are all thrillers that I have not read, but just that don't. I got the first 2, The Admissions and Pay Dirt Road for $1 at a book sale. They looked good at the time, but then after I brought them home and read the little synopsis again, they just didn't sound interesting to me. And then I have one, The Hunting Wives. And this one, I read My Summer Darlings by this author and I really enjoyed it. And my friend Jalen read it, or started it, and she said it was awful. So I really don't have any want to read it now. So it's going to go away. Those are all of the books that I am going to unhaul. As you can see, we have lots more room now for new books. So we can go book shopping now. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you keep reading because I know I am. Thank you for watching. Nessie Reads.